Hi everyone and welcome back to this English Stars lesson review. This is the lesson that was on Wednesday the 31st of January and we've been looking at a book called The Viewer. I think this book is amazing. It's full of metaphors, symbols, ways of seeing and watching, circles and never-endingness. And it's a really kind of complex, fantastical tale which is really kind of dark and eerie and I love it. It's great. And I hope you do too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you. This is going to be quite an unedited video. I'll just go through exactly what we did in the lesson. So let me just share with you now. Okie dokie. So if you don't have a copy of this book at home, it's okay. I can make one available to you. This is what it looks like. This is the front cover. We've already had one lesson on this. So this is the second lesson in the series. And like I said, it's really cool. I like it a lot. Okay, so yes, right, let's move on. So what we did to start off with is we did one of my trusty dice games. And we had a sentence about the story. So we had at the dump, Tristan searched carefully through the disused items and we just simply rolled the dice and whatever it came to, we would change whatever kind of grammatical word that we've got. So here we change the noun. So instead of dump, we could have it the rubbish tip or whatever. And we maybe change items to objects or maybe in Tristan's eyes, even something like treasures would be appropriate here. So we had a go of this one. So you can have a go of rewriting the sentence if you want and changing different elements. So identifying the verbs. So instead of having searched carefully, we could have something like he rummaged, something like that. So really go for high level vocabulary with this. And if you need to use a thesaurus, then use one. Okay, so today we focused on learning a sensory technique that the author uses to engage the reader, and we also read on in the story as well. This was what we looked at in the first lesson. So this was on the previous lesson review. We came back again to this picture of Tristan here in the dump and all of the objects or his treasures all around him, and we've got him sifting through, we've got him searching through here to find things. So we rolled our dice, and just to get familiar with the picture, we had a go of finding different objects in the picture, beginning with these letters. And you guys were awesome at it. I think it was the letter C. We found so many things, really loads of things. And again, the more we look at this picture, the more we're finding new objects and new items. It really is fascinating. Something that was pointed out to me that I didn't see straight away was actually the skulls in this picture. Can you see them hiding? Have a look and see if you can find them. There's actually quite a lot. They seem to be on the kind of glass objects here. So we've got one here, and then on this ship in the bottle, we've got a couple down here as well. Yeah, so the more you look at it, the more you see. A really interesting picture. Okay, so we read on in the story. I'm not going to show the text, but I have taken this text out of the main story so we can have a look at it on here. So as we read through this, I want you to think about how the author has used sensory language. So we're looking for things that tell us what things sound like, what things feel like to touch, and even in this, there's also what things smell like, as well as what things look like. Okay, so as we read through, see if you can have a look of identifying the sensory words. So one afternoon, as Tristan scavenged through the piles of rubbish, he came upon the most remarkable find of all, a curious box. Fashioned from dark wood and burnished metal and covered with detailed engravings, its lid was locked tight. Tristan ran his fingers over indecipherable names and patterns, sensing fascination and dread. He picked up the box and carried it home. Later that evening, Tristan left the dinner table early, eager to return to his room to figure out how to unlock the box. Yet the moment he placed it on his desk, the latch snapped open. Carefully, he raised the lid. The musty odor of entombed air escaped from the dark space inside. Really great, two really great paragraphs. So let's see if you can find the sensory words there. You can pause the video now. Feel free to write it down. And remember, you can send your work to me. You can send any of your answers to me, and I'll tell you whether you got it right or not. Let's have a little look. So yeah, we can see at the top here. Let me just grab my pen. We've got how it feels. We've got Tristan running his fingers over the detailed engravings, the indecipherable names and patterns, and how he's feeling as he's doing that. Yeah. So that would be how it feels. And there's also the facts about what it looks like there as well. Let me move down here. Oops. That one out. And then down here, we've got the sound here. The moment he placed it on the desk, the latch snapped open. So we've got the sound of it snapping open. We can imagine that. We can hear it, can't we? So it's really clever. The author doesn't just give us this, we're not just reading the story and seeing the story, we're actually experiencing it with our senses, which is fab. And then the smell here is the musty odor of entombed air escaping from the dark space inside. And we've got that theme of death again here, haven't we? Good. Okay, lovely. The next thing we did was we read on in the story, and I'm not going to go through all of it here because, like I said, you have got the copy of the book. This is one of the pictures that when Tristan puts the viewer to his eyes, this is one of the discs that shows different pictures. And we spent a bit of time looking at each of these images and discussing what we would see and what kind of feeling and what kind of response we get. So I'm interested to know, if you weren't in the lesson, what you think about this. So feel free to let me know, and I can go through quickly, briefly, what we talked about. So we talked about this being way back in time, way back in time. We can see here we've got creatures that are now extinct. So saber-toothed tiger. We've got dinosaurs down here. We've got some kind of extinctions. It looks like we've got cavemen here, kind of early man, hunter-gatherer. We've got cave paintings around here, and kind of like a primitive eye inside. These ones were a little bit tricky for us to work out. We talked about weather patterns, and we weren't sure at first about this one, but on deeper observation and discussion, we thought this was under the ocean and really small kind of microbes, or even the first early cells, the beginning of evolution deep inside the waters. So we are way back in time here. We are really far back. We talked about that. There are a few more images in the book that we looked at that you can feel free to have a look at. And then our main bit of writing was what Tristan had seen through the viewer. So there was two options here. And what you could do was you could have a go of writing a diary entry. So imagining that you're Tristan, so you'd be writing in the first person. And you'd be making sure that you describe your emotions as you write. So as he's put the viewer down and he's got into bed, he has all these feelings of dread and of chaos and of confusion, and he's rather scared as well. So the children started off writing a diary entry in his shoes. Not everybody did that. Some children preferred to just write a list of the things that Tristan had seen as he was looking through. So two options there for you to have a go at. Okay, thank you very much. I don't really want to go through any more because that was basically what we did in the lesson. We will have one more lesson on this next time. Okay, and I'll see you then. All right, well done, guys. It was a great lesson. And I hope if you weren't in class, this has been useful for you. And I'll see you soon. Bye.